All right, you guys, it is Sunday, December 1st, and it's about 6:30. I wanted to tell you guys a little something about what happened today, and I thought I would use my second fire of the season as a backdrop while I tell you guys the story. So, as many of you know, I have a gifting site where I have a blanket out and I have a shovel, a little frisbee, two different balls, one with a hook on it like you would play with a dog that's a little bit sturdier, and then a plastic ball, big bouncy ball. And then I also just put out there, because another Bigfooter had told me that he put a blanket out there and he said it had to be a quilt. So I had a quilt, so I put the quilt out there, and then a hairbrush. He said that the females like the hairbrushes. So I thought, okay, I'll try and put that out there. Now, mind you, they have touched the stuff, but they have never taken anything except for a Rubik's Cube, which I put out there months ago, and it was taken right away. It was gone the next day. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. He loves the Rubik's Cube. I wonder why. So that was months ago, and then I went out and bought another Rubik's Cube to experiment and see if it was like a coincidence or not. So I put the Rubik's Cube out there, and I put a snow globe it's a plastic snow globe that you push the button and it plays music. So I thought maybe the little one would like that, Olaf. So I put that out there. And then I had also gifted on Thanksgiving a pie, pumpkin pie, a sausage, some cheese, and a Diet Coke. So that was on Thanksgiving. So I go out there today to check the gifting site, because I haven't checked it since Thanksgiving when I went out there. And the pie and the sausage and the Diet Coke and the cheese are still there, and they haven't been touched, which that sometimes happens. Sometimes they don't take the food right away. It takes them a minute to get it. So I go and check the gifting blanket. Well, of course, the quilt is still there and the brush is still there, and they've been there for a minute, because I did that like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the snow globe is still there, but guess what's missing? The Rubik's Cube is gone. So I don't know what it is about the Rubik's Cube that I'm assuming it's the little one Olaf loves, but my granddaughter had told me that maybe it's because he can work it like a puzzle, and that it helps with his brain activity, moving the parts around and stuff. So I don't know. I just found that fascinating that he loved the Rubik's Cube, and I thought, well, maybe his big hands, destroyed the other one, or he picked the stickers off it or something like that. So that's just fascinating to me. So now it makes me want to go and get different types of puzzles and see if he might like that. Because I put a shovel out there because, I had found some dig marks with a stick, and I thought, oh, a shovel will be easier if he wants to dig. Well, the shovel was never really, it wasn't taken and it wasn't really used. So I didn't find any dig marks or anything around the gifting site. So, and the ball was messed with, but that could have been squirrels or birds, you can't really say. But the point is that nothing was ever taken except for this Rubik's Cube. So that makes me wonder, what is fascinating? Is it the shape? Is it the colors on it? Is it the fact that they move? and he figured out by messing with it that you can move the squares. And where does he put it? Does he hide it so his parents don't know that he has it? Do his parents know he has it? Does he have like a stash of items that he puts somewhere? Because I know in the semi behind my house, weird things show up there sometimes. Like one time, a whole ass front of a car bumper showed up in there. And I was like, what are you guys doing with a car bumper? And where the frick did you get it from? But, you know, who knows? And there's a couple boat seats in there that were ripped out of the boat that's by the trailer, and the boat has just been demolished on the inside, and the life jackets were on the inside of the trailer. And then there were some inline skates in there, all children's, and I'm like, what are you doing with these child life jackets and these child inline skates? So he must be finding them somewhere and stashing them. So it was interesting also because I put some straw in there because I know that the adult male will go in there and take a nap, because I've heard snoring when I went out there, and I heard it coming from inside the semi. And so I put straw out there, and I put a couple bales, and I went out there and checked it, and you could see, you know how you sit on your butt against a wall and you put your feet in front of you with your legs bent up? Well, there was literally a butt print in the straw, and then there were 2 feet marks where he was like leaning against the wall of this trailer. So that was pretty cool, and that tells me that, yeah, somebody has been hanging out in there. I couldn't tell. Could have been the little one, Olaf, or it could have been the big one. It's hard to tell, but these are just some of the things that go around and happen in my day-to-day activities. And then the other night, I was in the bathroom, and I heard the footsteps on the gravel again. And again, these are loud enough to where I can't even duplicate them. And then on top of that, this is the first time this has ever happened, is I heard breathing. It was like a sigh and then breathing. And it was heavy, it was loud. It was enough to come from outside the house into the house. So that I was fascinated with, and that was Friday evening. And my granddaughter, as you know, had did the picture of them, and I had put it in the window where they watch TV so they could see it. And then that night is when I heard the breathing. Now, I have been hearing the language on the south side of the house, but I cannot tell you. It's too muffled. It's loud enough to hear, but I can't, and I don't think I could identify the language if I wanted to. But that's also a fascinating thing, because the language, the talking just started. That's something that's new within the past 2 weeks. So, you know, I think they reveal themselves to us in stages as according to how comfortable they are with you. And mind you, this has been 2 years for me. So this is 2 years, and I'm just within the past month, like the middle of November, hearing, talking, them vocalizing words for the first time. I've heard the yells. I've heard the woos. I've heard the snoring. And the yells sound like a tornado siren. They're that loud, and they do, you know, they vibrate in your chest. So, well, that's my little bit of story for this Sunday evening. I hope you guys have a great one, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and for joining me on this Bigfoot journey, because it sure is fascinating. And if you guys have any encounters that you would like to share with me and I will read them on air, email me at beautiesandthebigfoot@outlook.com and I will be glad to read those ahead. In fact, I've got a few short encounters that I'm going to be reading this week. All right, you guys, happy Sunday. Thank you.